It is October, and October means the most wonderful time of the year here in Cabo. While in the rest of the world, that might be a different time of year, but here in Cabo San Lucas, Baja California Sur, it's about to go down. While we've already had a couple of tournaments already in the year, it is really the sport fishing playoffs, right? The big show, the Super Bowl, the Big Daddy, the Cheyenne, the greatest show on earth is about to happen here in Cabo San Lucas. We got all the big billfish tournaments, all the money. The most talented anglers from across the globe are converging here in Baja California Sur for all the money. And I'm talking millions of dollars, not just in prize money, but in technologically advanced boats and the training and the talent that's gonna be here. It's amazing. We love it. All the boats are gonna line up in the bay. Flares are gonna go off, shotguns are gonna be fired. Formula One's gonna be imitated, and we're gonna get those boats up on plane, out at speed, and into the fishing grounds. Ricky Tick. Join us and learn about the tournaments here in Los Cabo San Lucas on the Cabo Fishing Podcast. Tournament season. That's right. We are here, the tournament episode, or the tournament chit-chat, fireside, except we don't have one. But I got cholleros, so I'm like basically in the Baja, because I am in the Baja. October. It's an amazing month here in Cabo San Lucas. All right, it's fantastic because all the talent, the great fishermen from across the world are coming here to participate in a collection of tournaments. It's not just one tournament. It's a collection of tournaments. So we will start off. Now, we've already had some tournaments in the year. We've had my favorite tournament of the year is the first tournament of the year. And why is it my favorite? It's my favorite because the fishing's just getting started. We've been waiting all year to catch big fish, and the big fish are just starting to come in. And I'm talking about the Pelagic Triple Crown. All right, the Pelagic Triple Crown put on by Pelagic, which is a great company, great fishing, mentality, a company for fishermen, by fishermen. It is a fantastic presentation that they do. I love it. It's right here in the Cabo San Lucas Marina. It's on the other side from where I'm located, but I love it over there. You got Baja Cantina where they set everything up and they do the captain's meetings. But it is a great tournament. Another reason it's a great tournament, Tony, the director of the tournament, is just a charming gentleman, and they've really put a lot of thought into the rules. So this tournament is probably the most advanced tournament in the Baja in terms of the rules, right? So there's a lot of different categories, and they've really advanced the rules to advance with the sport. And I have a tremendous admiration for Tony and everyone over there at Pelagic that are put on a great tournament. It's called the Triple Crown because it's part of a greater series that happens outside of just here in Cabo, but it's an important one. It's the first of the Triple Crown, and I'm a huge fan. It's my favorite tournament, and it's not because I've almost won it. It's because I love the tournament, but I'd like to win it. The next tournament is a local skills type competition. It is called the Los Cabos Release Tournament. It's only a couple years into its existence. It's kind of the brainchild of a captain here in town that started out a couple years ago, basically creating a skins game if you're a golfer, or a skills competition for some of the local guys. And now it's become a sanctioned event with a gaming license, so that we can put money in and take money out in terms of competition. And it is really special because it's kind of our bread and butter, and it is purely dead bait or lures, right? So no pitch bait, no live casting to fish on the surface. You have to raise the fish up. You have to use your skill sets. You have to understand how to rig your bait. And then you have to catch the fish. You have to convert that live bait or lure teaser attack into a converted caught fish and then release it, because most of the fishermen here in Cabo are very focused on the fishery and are very focused on conservation. Red Rum is part of the sponsorship team of that event. While it's small and growing, I think they've done a really good job, and we look forward to seeing it grow in the future. Then the next tournament, early August, so we've gone from mid-June to mid-July to early August, and that is the Bisbee East Cape Tournament. Bisbee is the name of a family, all right? They're an American family. It started with the patriarch of the family, and now it's passed on to the children. And it's a family focused on promoting sport fishing tournaments and sport fishing initiatives kind of around the world. But primarily, they're famous and known for their efforts here in Cabo San Lucas, or this area. The East Cape Tournament takes place at Buena Vista Resort, which is up by in between La Rivera and Los Barriles. And there's a little resort there with a beautiful beach area and a nice mooring in a bay. And we love fishing that event. We actually have to physically move the boats. We ferry the boats up there. We stay on the boats. And in fact, I'm drinking my beer out of Team What a Catch. And my good friend Greg Dieters out of LaGrange, Texas, had a team in there this year, and they did really well with their family. And so they made this for me, and I love that tournament. We didn't do as well as we'd like up there, and of course, the goal is to win. But we were competitive, our boats were competitive, and it's a wonderful place to fish. The East Cape of the Baja Peninsula is gorgeous. The fish are big, the water's warm, and it's a great time of year, and you just see beautiful big species, big tuna, monster dorado, mahi-mahi, or dolphin fish, take your pick. And then the blues and the blacks are great, and there's some delightful stripes in the area. Then, moving back to Cabo San Lucas, the very first tournament in October is put on by a local company called Marlini. They're a clothing company / charter fish company that are right next door on Dock A to us. Tio and those guys are great guys. We love them. And, they've put together a really good Dorado tournament for 1 million pesos. And, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it is. And for a Dorado, it's a great prize. And on top of it, the Dorado at this time of year right now are really a respectable size. So it's a well-timed tournament, and it also gets everybody in the mentality of being competitive, getting to the meetings, getting registered, making sure that your boat documentation is straight. All these things need to be done. All your licenses need to be up to date and accurate. I love the Marlini tournament. We're excited about that. And then immediately following that, we're in the 25th year of the Los Cabos Billfish Tournament. This year, there was a little bit of confusion and some drama surrounding the tournament, but it is on. It will be taking place at a different location in terms of registration and stuff like that. But it is a 3-day offshore fishing tournament for blues, blacks, striped marlin. They have a release division as well as game fish. And it's a fun tournament, and a lot of the boats from around the world, this is their first real big tournament of the season. So they're coming off the shipping container boat, and then they're being driven in from different locations, and this is the tournament that gets everybody kind of going. Immediately following that is another Bisbee tournament called the Los Cabos Offshore. Now, it is also affectionately known and has the term of endearment of the Little Bisbee. And this is a great tournament. It's a fun atmosphere. It happens on the same side of the dock. The scales are right in front of D dock, and the boats get to come into the working dock, and that's where they unload the big fish. And there's always a big crowd, and they got stages, and there's music. It's a really cool party atmosphere, but it's a big excitement. And watching the fish being parting the Red Sea, if you will, of the crowd. It's just a beautiful scene, and to see everyone come and support it. That tournament also has game fish. So you'll see the Dorado, you see the Wahoo, you see the tuna. And so a lot of people get very excited to see that. And it's really interactive. The scales are there, on the front steps of the Puerto Paraiso Mall entrance, right there in front of Dock D. This beautiful area with restaurants and bars right nearby, music playing. And it's a fun tournament. And the reason it's fun is because the atmosphere is typically one of enjoyment. And you see a lot of novice fishermen dipping their toes into the tournament waters. It was the very first tournament that I participated in years ago and kind of hooked me into tournament fishing. Then immediately following that is the Bisbee Black and Blue. And it's very self-explanatory. It's black and blue marlin only. And this is affectionately known as the Big Bisbee. And this is the granddaddy, right? This is the Cheyenne. This is the Super Bowl. This is the playoffs. This is the Stanley Cup. This is, you go ahead and pick the trophy, and this is it. This is the Kentucky Derby, of sport fishing. And it is purely who can catch the biggest black and blue marlin, get it in their boat, and get it to the scales on time. And it's monsters only. It is the most pure fishing tournament in terms of, can you catch the biggest fish? The timing of the tournament's a little bit tough as the water temperatures are starting to get a little more settled. We're coming out of the storm season, so some of the larger fish have already vacated. So it's you got 200 boats going for, a handful of monster fish. But what they're really going for is millions of dollars. And, anywhere between $4 and $11 million can be won in this event. It is unreal. It is the largest financial tournament, and that's what brings all the attention. And just like the Super Bowl, everybody comes to town. The celebrities come to check it out. All the guys with the fancy boats, they want to come check it out. It's like going to Monte Carlo and watching Formula One. It is just a beautiful, wonderful spectacle, and it's great for the economy. A couple of things. There's a movie about it called The Blue Miracle, which kind of tells the story of a guy by the name of Captain Wade, years ago, winning the tournament, local guy, and utilizing the money from that tournament to fund and support the local community through an orphanage. All the fish that get surrendered and go to the scales, the meat from the fish go to the community. They feed the kids, they feed the needy. And so it's really neat how this tournament has turned into a blessing to the community. Not just this tournament, but all the tournaments have turned into a blessing to this community. It increases the revenue of the hotels, the restaurants, the little street vendors, the street tacos. Everybody does better when the tournaments are here. Big money bring big things, and it's really neat, and we're very excited for that. Then, after a 2-day siesta and letting the dust settle from that event, we have the Western Outdoor News Tuna Jackpot. And this is my absolute favorite fall tournament. Everybody catch tuna around the world. And so it is a fun fish, it's a delicious fish, and everybody can get in on the action. You have a better chance of being able to go tuna fishing than marlin fishing when you look at it statistically across the table in terms of, tourism. And so this allows a lot more people to participate. The money's not as big as the Bisbee Black and Blue tournament, so people can afford to get into it. And it is so professionally done. Western Outdoor News are an amazing organization and company. They just are exceptionally well run, ethically done, and they do so much to put into the conservation of the waters, not just here, but all up and down like the west coast of the United States into the Gulf of Mexico as well as the East Coast. They also utilize their platform to educate, people involved in the angling world. And I think they're a wonderful organization. I love the tournament. It's a great jackpot in terms of money. And we go out there and we try and catch the biggest sea cow that we can get. And some of these fish, they're like 200-300 pound tunas. And it's a wonderful, great fight. They're a worthy opponent. It takes skill. And the greatest thing about it is, the tuna are out there marauding across the ocean, and you got to go find them. And I love it. Everyone's kind of on a level playing field. There's no real technological advantage that you can have in terms of finding the tuna. Maybe you have a FLIR. Maybe you have really cool binos. Maybe you got a guy that just loves being in the sun sitting on top of a tuna, tower. But really, it's an even playing field. And it doesn't matter if you got a 22-foot boat or you got a 72-foot boat or you got a 100-foot boat. Everybody's got a chance of catching a big tuna. And I love it. I love the atmosphere. Before the shotgun start, they do something that the other tournaments don't do, and they do a check-in. And so you have to drive your boat past like this party boat that everyone's having a great time on. The photographers are there to take the picture of your team number. People dress up and they have fun. They play little pranks on each other. And it's just a really fun, delightful event. And we get out there on the water and we get after it. It also has game fish divisions, so not just tuna, but also dorado and wahoo. So there's a lot more at stake than just catching the biggest tuna. It's a great event. They have the best swag. And I'm not just saying that because our name might be on some of it. I'm saying it because it's a great tournament. They really care about the anglers. They take care of them. And it's just a pleasure to be associated and to participate in it. I love that tournament. I love tuna. I can't help myself. I'm a tunaholic. It's delicious. And there's nothing better than walking into one of these great local restaurants with a 5-gallon bucket of the most delicious meat on the planet, or at least on the water part of the planet, and get some. So that's kind of a breakdown of the tournaments here in Cabo. If you're curious about learning more about it, drop us a line. Leave a message in the Cabo Fishing Podcast comment section. Shoot us an email. Do whatever. And we're happy to answer any of your questions, point you in the right direction, tell you, what a good tournament for your boat or your team, or how to put a team together, or how to join a team. Where should you start? How should you do it? We can answer all those questions. And we love talking about it. We love people coming here to Cabo. That's why we have the Cabo Fishing Podcast. And that's why, we're excited about tournament season. And, like baseball's got October, so does Cabo San Lucas. Finger guns, gangster guns. It's late summer on the Baja California Sur, and on the beaches near Rancho San Cristobal on the Pacific side, the olive Ridley or Pacific Ridley sea turtle is conducting its great arraboutus, a synchronized arrival so that they can lay their eggs together in unison and in a great number to help protect from predation. As all these beautiful sea turtles emerge out of the Pacific Ocean, they crawl up onto the beach, dig deep holes so that they can lay their eggs and nest them, bury their treasure. This love story between this beautiful creature and these most special beaches begins with the digging of these nests, where 80 to 130 eggs will be placed gently and lovingly in these deep holes so that they can be safe from aerial predation and then camouflaged with all the great numbers of tracks and nests. Here on this special beach at Rancho San Cristobal, Zulema Guibera, a marine biologist, gently, carefully, and lovingly retrieves these eggs so that they can be placed in a very special and safe incubation site on this property and on this secluded beach. For 45 days, the eggs will lay in the temperate sands, protected from predation, where they will hatch and then be guided safely back to the Pacific Ocean, where they will begin their life's journey. But for the mothers, the journey is still continuing. After they've buried their treasure on these special beaches, this love story continues. After the camouflage is done, they begin their journey back to the Pacific Ocean, working their way down these beaches. It's a sight to behold to see all these tracks of hundreds of turtles that have made this journey, arrived on this beach, buried their young, their nesting, and then returning to the ocean. It's our responsibility to protect these animals and to keep their legacy alive. So not only can we tell their stories and share this legacy, we must help protect these beaches. Let's not drive on it. Let's be cognizant where we walk. Let's make sure that the trash is policed up so it's not confused for food or entangle or endanger these beautiful creatures as they work their way up and down these sacred and beautiful beaches. You can support these efforts by supporting Zulema Guibera at Rancho San Cristobal. You can do that by buying a shirt from Mar Vida that supports her efforts. But most of all, tell this story, protect this earth, and we thank you for your conservation efforts. We thank you for the love of the ocean. We thank you for the love of the land. We thank you for the love of these beautiful and unique creatures. And we thank you for your Mar Vida.
All right, guys. For this cocktail, we're going to make a passion fruit margarita with Don Julio Blanco. 1.5 ounces of Don Julio Blanco. Half of Controy. Half ounce lime juice. Espérame, es que le voy a decir 2 onzas. 2 ounces of passion fruit, ice, take it. And the big glass. And look at this garnish. Alright, guys, enjoy. Vámonos, Ricky.
The Cabo Fishing Podcast, brought to you by Rancho del Pescador, Red Rum Sport Fishing, Mar Vida, and Proyecta Tequila.